back to GWN. I'm not your host. As you may or may not have guessed, it is definitely Cannon Cart Week here at GWN. And that's kind of like in parallel with the game because, let's face it, right now the game is all about cannon carts. I mentioned in an earlier video that I had a nice little virtual trip down to Australia here. Got to hang out with the guys and gals of Oz Builders, and they gave me all kinds of great replays, including a bunch of them that were Bombarian. Now, I did the Barbarian Carts video yesterday. That's Carb or Bark or Bart or whatever, where you have just Rage Barbarians and Cannon Carts. But Bombarian Carts uses bombers to just open up the base, to just peel back that first layer and let everything flutter right on into the middle. And you can see that really in all these replays. The same problems exist with Bombarian Carts as with Barbarian Carts, and we talked about this a little bit a few days back in the Bombarian Carts video. You've got to watch out for things like, for example, the giant cannon. If your cannon carts manage to bunch up and get behind a troop that gets targeted by the giant cannon, or if they get targeted themselves by the giant cannon, they're going to fall apart. Likewise, the multi-mortar is a massive issue because of the splash damage. If the cannon carts are close to each other, they're in trouble. And also, if they're close to one of their tanking troops, which often happens, when the multi-mortar starts to fire, they're also going to have problems. Those really are the two biggest issues. And how you deal with that? Well, you need to spread your cannon carts. You need to keep them behind but not too close to the tanks that you put in. And if you can do that, you'll generally be all right. Now, with Bombarian Carts, once you've got the base open, you're going to be trickling in those Rage Barbarians a few at a time. Well, I mean, you know, I don't want to say too few because really you're probably going to be going in with about 80 Barbarians, and there's, maybe 9 or 10 of them at a time that you're trickling in groups of 3 or 4. But you get the general gist of it. And again, watch the replays. The replays are fantastic. These guys really know how to do this attack strat, and they do a great job with it. All these replays happen before season reset. So we're looking at 5,000 plus play here. These guys are all at the 5,000 mark, give or take a few. Some of them are 5,500. So you're seeing some higher level players really go at each other, and it's not a bad thing because you're not seeing players with a whole bunch of things at level 7 or level 6 or level 5. It's higher level defenses, and that makes a big difference in the attack. Right now, the game has gone through the season reset, and it's a real hodgepodge with everybody down around 4,000 to 4,500. So all the same ideas still apply. You can still run the attack the same way, but you're going to find it a little bit easier sometimes or a little bit harder other times, especially if you go against somebody who's a truly fully maxed Builder Hall 8, which can actually happen. You'll notice too, we've got box bases, we've got diamond bases. This works against any of these bases. It is the dominant ground attack strategy in the game right now, and that's for very good reason, because it's so successful. It is so strong. If you run this right, you will get 75% or better 2 stars every single time. I'm yet to see the base that cannot be taken down with this particular attack strategy, and I have spent hours upon hours working on my own base designs, just trying to find a way to reduce the impact that these cannon cart strategies have on my base. And what I found, I can either defend against air, or I can defend against the cannon cart. It's one or the other. The moment I get a decent defense against cannon carts in the ground attack, I immediately start getting hammered by minion drops. Like somehow they know where I've positioned all of my traps and mines in that, and exactly whether or not they're running for air or ground. I don't know how people figured it out, but the fact is, if you find a way to defend against these ground attacks, you're probably going to be susceptible to air. That is the nature of the game right now. How to run this. Went through this earlier, we'll talk about it again. Number 1, clear the junk on the outside of the base. In every one of these video replays, you'll see that they start off by getting rid of any outlying buildings where they're going to do their deployment. You typically do deployment in a straight line. That's how it works when you're running bombers, because the bombers are going to go in and they're going to take out all the walls along one side of the base. Now that could be the left, the right, the top, the bottom, doesn't matter. The general gist is still the same. You want your bombers to go in and knock down the walls so that your Raged Barbarians can simply flood into the middle of the base. But they're not going to be able to do that using the big bomb feature if you don't get rid of those junk buildings on the outside first. So definitely make sure that you do so. In a base like this, where you've got aprons around it, where you've got additional walls outside the main core, you're going to have to get rid of those as well. So hold back a couple of your bombers. Just do the ones that get the first line of walls out, and then, after you've sent in the rest of your troops, send in the bombers to do the next level of clearance. The Raged Barbarians at that point become a distraction to the defenses so that your cannon carts can come in behind them. In this particular one, look at how those cannon carts continue to survive behind the Raged Barbarians. We're looking at having 4, 5, 6 of them left over by the time you're down to just a handful of buildings. And that's because you trickle in those Raged Barbarians at a reasonable pace. Not too fast, not too big a group, not too small a group, but you trickle them in such that they manage to keep the defenses focused on them and not on the cannon carts. Your cannon carts coming in from the very back, they will sweep through the base and continually destroy things as the Raged Barbarians get in front of them. Again, important that you trickle the Barbarians in such a way that they replace the ones that are being taken out by the defenses. That way, those cannon carts will be able to hold back just far enough to not be targeted by the defenses and let those defenses waste their time on the Raged Barbarians. And don't forget, the Raged Barbarians are going to be kicking some serious butt here too. Especially if you got level 16 Raged Barbarians, because they've got 16 seconds of rage. Now, if you look at this, you'll see how long that lasts. I mean, it just keeps on going and going and going. You've always got Raged Barbarians on the game grid. That is the beauty of the Bombarian and the Barbarian cart strategies. You're always hitting the defenses, always hitting the buildings with Raged Barbarians right up to the very end. So, that's the way that this strategy works. That's the way that so many people are getting so many high percentages right now and just absolutely whooping up on their way up through the trophy ranks. Now you might ask, what about my battle machine? What am I going to do with him? Well, you're either going to use him to clear out those crushers, or just as kind of a general clearing toward the end. But you don't hold him off until the end of the attack. You don't want to do that. You want to get him in there soon enough that he's able to really get in and do some damage alongside of everybody else and help protect those cannon carts. So guys, that's what I had for you today. Another video on Bombarian Carts. Thanks again to the crew down at OzBuilders, and just all these replays. Fantastic. I appreciate it. I appreciate the conversation and the friendly challenges. Y'all, thanks for kicking around till the end of the video. Take care and have a great time. Keep on clashing. Bye-bye.